Hello and welcome to the HMG Global Leadership Institute Recognition Program. I'm here with Gautham Pallapa. He's an executive advisor at VMware and the author of Leading with Empathy. Gautham, welcome to the program. Great to see you.
Great to see you as well, Hunter. Thank you for having me.
So tell us new, what's changed after 28 months? The endemic has all sorts of implications regarding leadership style and effective leadership. What is leading with empathy all about, and why is empathy so critically important?
Yeah, that's a great start, Hunter. So, as we know, the world has shifted to a contactless, digital-first, remote experience, and it's crucial now more than ever for companies to transform. Like you mentioned, over the last 28 months, people have been trying to rethink and reimagine how they actually transform their organizations. And as a result of that, three traits have become essential for a digital transformation leader. The first one is authenticity. That has become one of the most crucial traits that a digital transformation leader has to embrace and demonstrate. And by authentic, I mean that you keep what I call the say to do ratio as close to one as possible, which means that if you say you're going to do something, you have to follow up and do it because your teams and your workforce and the market and everyone are looking to you to be that authentic person. But in order to be that, you also want to be approachable, you want to be attentive, you want to be appreciative, you want to be connected, and you want to be vulnerable. So there's a number of things that's going in there. The next thing that I say, the trait that has come up is empathic leadership, because everyone has been suffering. There's been so much of stress and anxiety that people have been facing. And so one of the primary goals of a leader has become to reduce the pain, be it for the customer or be it for the workforce. And that is what people are looking at as value that they want to derive out of it. And this requires empathy. And the third one that I would say is to become that strategic leader, because all of a sudden, all the various strategies and initiatives that were put in place 28 months ago have gone out of the door. People have changed the way they're thinking, customer experience has changed. And so digital leaders must really rethink and reimagine their current strategies to achieve their business outcomes and workforce happiness. And I think this three things are what is elevating people as humans and increasing that empathic leadership within the organization. And so this is what excites me, that we are looking at a new era where empathic leadership and leading with empathy is so important in our workforce.
Why does your brand matter more than ever?
Like I said, people have to be, authentic, and they also need to be genuine, right? And if they have to be genuine, that means that they need to develop what they mean to the world and what they mean to themselves. So having a higher purpose and trying to align with something that is passionate to you is really important. So, for example, I have two primary beliefs. My first belief is that happy people are productive people. And then my second belief is that strategic disruption, not disruption for the sake of disruption, but strategic disruption is what leads to progress. And with these two primary beliefs that I have, I use it as my North Star and I help it guide into every single thing that I do. Because I believe that happy people are productive people, I believe that empathic leadership and then trying to help people overcome their stress and anxiety is really important. And by people, I mean, the workforce, because they are the true value creators within the organization. And then the customers, because at the end of the day, if the customer doesn't get value out of something that you're performing, you are not really delivering business value. And so trying to disrupt this hyper dynamic environment and delivering that customer value and that workforce value and making the people happy and be excited to follow along with you is what's really important and drives me. And that is what I believe is my brand and what I do on a day-to-day basis. Both as an executive advisor at VMware, I partner with executives and C-suite in various industry verticals and help them on the transformation, helping them change their strategies around people, process, and culture before they go into technology. Because technology can only be an enabler and it doesn't really generate value. And instead, it's the people. And so for me, people are the value creator, and that's what I drive towards, and that's my North Star. So everyone needs to start building up their brand, trying to identify what they really want to be, why they exist, and what is their higher purpose, and build their brand. And the way I say it is for a leader, you want to really consider and think about how you can describe yourself in, say, 5 words or a sentence. And that kind of introspection is really important right now. So for me, I would say that the way I would define myself is with 5 words: improving human quality of life. And that is my North Star. And so I would encourage all of the leaders to start reflecting upon what their passion is and how to introduce empathy and become that empathic leader to drive towards their passion and to do towards their North Star.
What's the best way to get started?
So the best way that I would like to do is to start off with what a SWOT analysis of yourself. So if you're in product or if you're a leader, you've gone through your SWOT analysis, which is of products, which is your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You want to identify what your strengths are. You want to recognize what your weaknesses are. And your focus needs to be to improve upon your strengths and not work on the weaknesses. You need to acknowledge them and work around them and put countermeasures, but your strengths are what's going to get there. And to understand what there is, you want to understand the why. Why do you exist? What is your purpose? What makes you happy? And there's a very nice technique. It's called the Ikigai map that the Japanese developed, and it is trying to identify what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and what you can get paid for. And it's that intersection of things that makes you very passionate. So I would say those two things are really important. The Ikigai diagram to understand your purpose and your why, and then your SWOT analysis to understand how you can get there. And then the what becomes your goals exercise, like within 1 to 3 years, what you want to accomplish, and then 5 to 10 years, what you want to accomplish, and so on. So I would say these are the 3 simplest ways to start off to get to your North Star or your why.
What really inspired you to develop this piece?
My inspiration was my mother. This book is actually kind of a eulogy to her. She was a leading researcher in HIV/AIDS in India. She was a microbiologist and she was head of the department for Ivy League school, medical school in India. And she was an amazingly empathic person. She had a saying, if you have not done something to improve the life of a human in some way, then you have not really lived. And that sentiment stuck with me. And I wanted to follow in her footsteps and become a doctor, but unfortunately I was 2 years younger. And so I couldn't do it and I took a different route. But throughout my life, empathy and the passion towards helping humans has been really, really close to my heart. And I've always been what I call healthcare adjacent. So in my PhD, I focused on improving quality of life of patients who are suffering from Parkinson's and Alzheimer's in assisted healthcare facilities using smart technologies, IoT, and smart homes. And so what I started seeing over the last 28 months, especially when the pandemic started, was that the stress and the anxiety levels shot up for people. And they were not able to handle and manage all these various things that were happening. They were so scared. I mean, we got impacted at a physiological level, and that threw us back a number of years. I mean, like centuries of years. We went to our base fears, and I recognized a number of these telltale signs because I've succumbed to stress and anxiety in the past when I was young as well. And so I started empathizing with people and started talking about it and trying to help them, conducting workshops and trying to improve their stress and anxiety level. And then I was suggested to put it and share these various experiences that I've had with the world. And this is how the genesis of the book came out. I started writing about it, doing research, trying to understand the importance of stress, sharing personal stories that my mother and I had when I was growing up, how she tried to help people, how she was empathic, all the various techniques that leaders need to embrace in the companies, within the organizations, because everyone was struggling with stress at different levels. It was hybrid world environments, and when people didn't know how to work remotely, some companies weren't even equipped for that. So sharing all those techniques and things that I've learned, the failures and successes and so on, and that's how the book came about. And it's been very fulfilling, and it's been I'm honored that it's been received well, not only by the psychotherapist, but also it's been on a couple of lists as well, and it's been recognized as something that helps with the empathic deficiency that we have within the society today.
Hey, Gautham, great stuff. Congratulations on the book and congratulations on being a top 2022 HMG Global Leadership Institute program recipients, honorees. Thank you.
Thank you, Hunter. Thank you for having me.
Great to see you. Thanks.
Find Leading with Empathy, Understanding the Needs of Today's Workforce by Dr. Gautham Pallapa, wherever books are sold, Audible, or on Amazon.com. For more information, please visit hmgstrategy.com and keep up to date by following us on our social media platforms. Thank you.